This is the second of the two videos about Freelancer. This video will be a bit more dry than the previous one about the safe house, because this is just a compilation of all my feedback and things I've experienced with Freelancer over my 3 days of playing it. Now, let's start with the positive. The safe house. It's absolutely phenomenal, the art direction is great, I love it, the customization looks to be limited but very fun to do. And I enjoy walking around it with my suits and just taking a look at everything. It's great. Another thing I love is that Freelancer can be quite addicting when you get a series of good contracts. When everything lines up and the optional objectives are fun and the targets are in good places, it really feels like a good game mode. But often it doesn't feel that way. Which brings me to the negative. My biggest negative with Freelancer is that there's a dominant playstyle, at least for me currently, where I just grab the best disguise on the map, ransack every crate, or just go past every vendor. I don't do that anymore because I've noticed that there's not a lot of good stuff in crates, and vendors just sell me overpriced shit I don't need. But anyway, I used to do that, and I still sometimes do that in game modes. And then I just go after the targets with my basic loadout of Seeker, Lockpick, and Gun. Because at a certain point you just have those items, and like every point of intrigue goes away. Because that's the thing about balance. It doesn't matter if you give me the most OP items. If you give me an item that will just kill all targets, I'm going to use that for the entire run. Because the punishment currently, which is also a negative from what I've heard, is way too severe. Losing everything in your safe house is fucking insane. They shouldn't have done that. Furthermore, I also really don't like that it's basically a glorified contracts mode. Like I said, sometimes you get really good contracts with great target locations, with fun alternative bonus challenges for mercies, but that's often not the case. I've heard many people get a guy in the middle of the crowd in Berlin and ask to like hide his body. What is that? That's not good. That's not good at all. I also think, despite the awesomeness of the safe house, that the progression is god awful. Honestly, the closed technical test only has 25 mastery levels. It took me a combined total over my 3 days of play that I was available to play of 14 hours to get to that point of mastery. Granted, I really didn't do the challenges, I just did the game mode over and over again, so that may factor into it. But 14 hours for 25 levels of mastery on a game mode that gets really repetitive in the later sections is a really bad thing. Speaking of, I like the basic loop of Freelancer. I like the idea of the basic loop of Freelancer, but having around 4 targets for basic missions and 12 possible suspects for the leader missions, that's far too much. That makes the game mode way too tedious, makes you spend way too much time on one map. Because with regular Hitman, you can take like an hour and a half on missions, especially on your first time, or when you're doing it for the first time. But this is basically a glorified contracts mode. I want to be in and out of here in like 5-10 minutes. Don't give me 12 suspects. I'm just gonna cheese that shit by sending one to the bathroom and then calling a meeting to get everyone to that bathroom and repeating that until I find the target. But yeah, and I think they really should reconsider how the campaigns are built up and maybe have different objectives for like each section of a campaign. Maybe add some, I don't know, file retrieval missions where where you're not allowed to get spotted, or you get like a mercies decrease if you get spotted, but there's like a special safe somewhere that you need to find the code to on the map. I don't know. I just thought of that on the spot. Just make more objectives to vary the gameplay more than just basic contracts, but this time the guy has a hat, a chain, tattoos, and is bald. Because that's something I noticed too. The leaders, they barely have any variety. It's basically it's the same type of NPCs each and every time. And the tells are also not different. They're always a foodie, or they like to read. May it be catching up with the news, or being interesting. Right, Diana? Fucking hell. Yeah, so, wow. I sound really angry. I should not. Furthermore, also in the leader missions, the assassins and the lookouts, they do jack shit. The assassins, at least in my experience, do way too little damage to be of any influence to me of how I play. In one of my missions, the target was running away. This was in Mendoza. I pull up my gun in public, shoot the target dead. Dead, okay, I can leave the mission. But an assassin has spotted me. He shoots me 2 times and gets the grey health. But because he has the same AI as like the brain dead guards, I can easily avoid him and just exit the mission. That shouldn't be happening. When I shoot someone right in public and you have a specialized NPC to kill me, that NPC should actually kill me. But he doesn't. And lookouts, I don't know what the fuck lookouts even are. I don't understand them. So that may just be my fault. But the fact that I don't know what function they have in the gameplay loop of the leader missions shows that they're not very well designed and not really impactful if I haven't noticed them or they haven't been that much of a detriment to my play experience. And as a final thing, I just think there should be a base mercy spay for everything you do, but the bonus challenges should really be the bonus challenges. And they have some minor stuff. It would be great if the prestige challenges were actually explained before you could pick them, because now it's like time trial, hide bodies time trial. That doesn't tell me anything. What does that mean? Or time trial. I've seen that one before. Like, that doesn't give me the incentive to go for more mercies and maybe a riskier strategy. That just makes me go, what? And go for Silent Assassin again. But, yeah. I also think for the bugs, there should be a ton of spelling mistakes. I've noticed. The most notable one being on the pop-up for alerted territories. Death Skies. I also saw some in descriptions for mastery. A lot of double letters or using a Danish spelling of something instead of the English spelling. But that's all minor stuff, and I think that'll be ironed out by the final release. Bugs like unable to customize your safe house when you interact with a painting in the kitchen or interact with something in the kitchen in general. That should also be fixed. Mercies falling through the floor from couriers, that should also be fixed. But that's just all bug related stuff that I'm sure, at least I hope, that the QA team is able to find them out. I know the QA team isn't the best, considering that Hitman 3 had some bugs where you were like, how did they miss that? But I don't know, I have faith in them. But anyway, Freelancer has the ability to become a fantastic game mode, an absolutely fantastic game mode, if IOI just puts the care in to refine the smaller details. Just make sure that it's as fun to play as possible, the missions don't take overly long, the assassins and lookouts actually do something and don't just clutter up the map with enforcers, and that the hits are a bit more specialized, a bit more designed, so it doesn't feel like a contracts mode. Anyway, this probably all sounds like really angry rambling, and if I did sound angry, I'm sorry for that. That wasn't my intention. But thank you all if you made it this far, and I'm gonna see you all in the next video. See ya!